I am hungry, but also... Yeah, I can weirdly get unhungry via... That meter's a little weird, isn't it? You can like get... because you can get energy via like feeling good and stuff like that. So that's it, huh? I can now do whatever I want here. Which admittedly is just hacking Havenage agents or hacking Yatagun agents. Right? Even those nodes. I kind of thought the nodes were like a long-term resource, but no, the nodes are just to get those 3 items for later. The data keys. I think there was also an early one. Yeah, it's because that's how I found them in the first place. So there's like 4 nodes. Now it's just the same Yatagun agents over and over again. An output from our 1s and 2s that I can eventually turn into either a ship mind or an injection. Speaking of which, I do need one of these. Like now. Been holding off a bit, which means that it's also kind of in my best interest to actually make some money again soon. I'm not about that 2 dice life. Reads are not great, but they're not hugely bad. The re-rolling could backfire. Just a thing to consider. But this should finish my unit. Upgrade point! Only 1 point? Thought I had more than... No, because I just bought instant karma, right. We're done building my house, and it also gave me an upgrade point, so it's worth it on its own level for that, but also maybe this helps me with stuff. Self-repair. That's my normal one. Feed a stray. There's signs that a stray animal has been nosing about near the unit. A handful of chits for some crackers should bring it at a hiding. I would like to feed a stray. I'm gonna have a pet. I'm gonna have a I'm gonna have a pet. I like that it costs... I guess it would cost me less, yeah, because it is the other stuff. Okay. I fed the stray. Action unavailable. Potentially having a pet seems to be the only benefit of this. Because there's nothing else going on here that separates it from the other thing, but hey, I have a house now instead of being in a shitty shipping container. I can feel better about that, I guess. The stray hops up onto a work surface and looks out of the unit's small window. It doesn't acknowledge your presence. It just sits there, beside the tray of crumpled crackers, staring out at the low end. What is this cat's story? Are there more on the station? You haven't seen another in the low end, but in this vast megastructure that means little. There could be a whole colony of cats like this one down in the Warrens. You look at its sleek, dark fur and sharp eyes. It doesn't look ragged. It looks at home. In fact, its presence in the unit makes you wonder if this is the stray's apartment, which you are squatting in. Watch the stray. It's even called a stray, like that's the word they're consistently calling it. I'm like, the fact that I'm playing Stray right now, I don't know if it's still airing at this point or not. And it's a, you know, it's a cat about a cat in a post-apocalyptic, maybe not post-apocalyptic, but distant future cyberpunk setting called The Stray. It's just, okay. This is a little surreal, this back and forth. Though the stray is looking out at the station, you feel its attention on you, waiting for you to spring your trap. You remain relaxed and watch as something flickers in its eyes, perhaps the reflection of a passing ship. The stray settles a little and starts eating, picking at the broken crackers. You don't remember ever having been this close to an animal. It triggers something in you, a recognition of a life, totally unlike your own, but still somehow connected, parallel, even interwoven. The stray licks crumbs from its fur. Do you like it here? The stray flicks their tail at the sound of your voice. It's hard to imagine the stray liking anything, or at least being vulnerable enough to admit it. But the stray's pleasure at existing here, in this place, shines through its every sinew. It is not that the stray is always happy in the eye, but that the stray is engaged by this place. It is alive here. You turn your eyes to the window, the one the stray looks out of, and you both watch the stars and ships together. You feel something pass between you and the stray, a kind of acknowledgement of each other, a sense that each of you might share something with the other, the point of connection. Then all at once, the stray yawns wide, hops down from the unit and brushes along your legs. And then it is gone. Out through the unit door and back into the corridors of the low end. I can just feed the stray. Ain't exactly expensive. I'm surprised it's not only repeatable daily or something. Action complete. Action complete. Just something I can ritualize, feeding the stray every time I go to bed or something. Otherwise, it's a little goofy because the fact that I can do it multiple times a day, it's like, okay, how much you need to feed this cat? Seems a little bad idea, actually, at some point. All right, my meter's refilled. Let's try rerolling and see how it works. It might be way worse. It's way better! I got 2 5s! And as expected, I can do it after I spend my good stuff, so shit. It's good news. Alright, I finished the other thing. Caster's... Oh, Rabia has progressed. Let's see this then. As you enter Rabia's office, you hear voices. Is that Sabine? You push open the door. Sleeper, what good timing. Rabia calls out as you enter. I wanted to introduce you to someone. The man standing at the center of the room, speaking quietly with Rabia. He turns as you come in. Meet Yannick. Sleeper. He nods. Been hearing good things from Rabbi. Rabbi? He smiles an easy smile. Good to meet you. Likewise, likewise. He waves a ringed hand. Now, Rabbi, where were we? Actually, Rabia places a hand on your shoulder. The sleeper was what I wanted to talk to you about. She doesn't spare you a look. What is going on? Well, okay then. Yannick tucks his hands into his pockets. Go on. I'd like to recommend them to your ward. A tiny pause. They have shown themselves to be a capable ally here on the spoke side. But we have more than enough to run our territories. I hear the main block is proving more difficult. Yannick leans forward, slowly. It's a mess, Rabbi. He waits, his tinted glasses shimmering despite the lack of light in the unit. I can use them, he suddenly decides. Rabia smiles. Good to hear. I can immediately... Yannick cuts her off with a raised hand. 1 second. He steps one surprisingly light step closer to you. You eager to work, sleeper? Yes. Yannick nods his head as if listening to music. Okay, then. You suddenly are unsure if he's talking to you. That concludes it. Yannick pronounces. Sleeper can come work in the ward. Anytime they like. You shoot Rabia a confused look. Rabia finally glances at you for a moment, but it's so fast you almost miss it. Good. I know you'll be happy with their work, Jan. I'm both not sure about how to pronounce either of their names, and also the ways that I pronounce their abbreviations contradict the way I pronounce their full names. Yannick reaches out, squeezes her shoulder. Sure, Rabbi, he says. Now, please, he says, turning to face you. Let us old friends get back to it. He guides Rabia away, leaving you standing alone. You look to Rabia, but she is deep in conversation, and so, stunned and confused, you leave. Well, now I work for Yannick, potentially. Patrol the block. A massive block at the center of Low End is made of layers and layers of units. Patrolling this vertical city is a challenge. Yannick's trust. Yannick's a strange character, but he seems to understand the value of hard work. You'll gain his trust with time. I'm not sure how trustworthy he is, but I think I trust Rabia based on the fact that she was willing to hear Sabine out, and she seems to just generally be concerned genuinely about what's going on. So I think if she has a plan, there's probably a reason. It looks like I got a full 25% if I do a 6. Boom. There, and we're halfway there. There's the good shit. I need to get food though. Also need to make money at some point? He's not fucking paying me, is he? Nobody in this area pays me, which would be okay if they at least fed me or something, but they don't do that either. So I'm always doing internships apparently. Wait. Almost fell for that. I wonder if I got a new house at the repaired unit, if he would have, I don't know, can you get rid of the tracker and repair the unit before that one guy comes back after you? I feel like if you disable the tracker before he arrives, then he doesn't know where you live, but that seems impossible timing-wise. But maybe if you disable the tracker and move, then you lose him. I would figure that disabling the tracker wouldn't work because he knows where you live, so he could just come to your house. Think we're all good? Yeah. Clicky this button. Holy shit, them are some dice rolls. 4 6s, and then I can re-roll the 2 to maybe get not a 1. Hopefully. I'm about to finish this task immediately. Is it that dangerous of a task if I exclusively complete it with a maximum roll so I never have to deal with the downsides? This guy must be super impressed by me now. Thinks I'm a CIA agent or something. You almost laugh when you see it. The same small recorder stuck to a different wall this time. Written across the fluorescent tape is this familiar word. Sleeper. You grab it quickly. They are not very good at this. Rabia says sorry. Sabine's voice sparks up once again. She said she didn't have time to brief you before setting you up with the old man. I'm sure you've got the play by now. Earn his trust, work the block. Then we need to get into his office. A pause. It's risky, but obviously you are the only one of us he doesn't already know. Either way, we need to locate the link to S&ARP. You hear a shout in the background of the recording. Rabia says be careful. Sabine continues. The data suggests there's some relay, processing the implant data and sending it to S&ARP. We can't lock down its position. Either he is moving it, or it's moving itself. Or is rerouting through the other relays. We can't understand it. Maybe you can find some details on it in his office. Once he trusts you, you should be able to get close enough to get in the office. You'll only get one shot. The recording creaks and whines. This is the final piece of the puzzle to end this. A pause. Good luck, Sleeper. I'm sorry, too. Be safe. The recording clicks off, leaving you in silence. You pocket the recorder, just in case, and walk away. Looks like it's up to you. Got 2 more 6s. What did I just click on? This is the noodle place, which I haven't been quite working on. Right, that's that other task. Expose Yannick. Gotta help everyone work together here. I have a 6. Yannick has asked you to collect his medicine from his office. Now is the only chance to find SNRP relay. Okay. This is stressful, saying that you only get one chance to do it. There's like a lot of reasons to be worried about that. One, you could like fuck over the entire operation. But 2, this organization is still the source of my only drug that keeps me alive. So if they find out I'm up to no good, I could lose that. You look at the countermeasure on the drawer. It looks like some kind of shock trap. If you'd grab the drawer, you likely have thousands of volts running through your system right now. You wince. Once you find the anchor points, it comes away easily enough. You prise it from the drawer quickly and quietly, then listen for footsteps in the corridor outside. Nothing. Oh, clear for now. You slide the drawer open, looking for other countermeasures that might be inside, expecting to see a chunk of tech. The relay. But as you slip it open, all you see is a handful of wires and an empty implant cradle. Is this some kind of mistake? You freeze for a moment, unsure what to do next. Why keep an implant cradle so carefully guarded? You remember Yannick having an implant, a small plate on the side of his head, just above his ear. You assumed it was for hearing or vision. Those shimmering glasses of his come back to you in your memory, his strange movements, his speech. You look again at the cradle, and there it is, printed on the frame. Proprietary technology, property of SNRP. ARP. Rabia said the relay moved, that they couldn't get a fix on it. What if Yannick was the relay? The thought hits you like a shock. Yannick, with a remote relay implanted in his head, networked to every single implanted enforcer in the low end. A shudder runs through you. Is he even in control? Or has SNRP wormed its way into the man? Could he even be considered separate from the corporation itself? You think of your own legal status as proprietary technology. A puppet with cut strings. Time to cut Yannick's strings, then. You reach around inside the cradle and find it. A remote connection. A tiny bead of a transmitter, likely controlling the link to SNRP. There it is. You pause for a moment, then you squeeze it. Snap it from the frame, and it crumples, sparks, and dies. It takes a moment before the shouts come, before the scream. And you are already on your way out, down the corridor, down through the unit that serves as the lobby to Yannick's office. Then, out onto the walkway where Yannick lies still, enforcers gathered around him, bemused. Approach. You push through the crowd, and there he is, still, crumpled. You arrange him a little, lie him down properly, feeling how thin his body is under his suit. You wonder how long he's been like this, a puppet from SNRP. With the connection cut, nothing remains but his body, which means that Yannick, the man, was gone a long time before now. You place a hand on his chest. You are sorry for him, but it is done now, and you did not kill this man. You've seen enough. The connection is cut, and whatever Yannick was, or had become, is gone. Your anger is a hard core in your chest, and all of it is focused on SNRP. Well. Status as traitor was somewhat different than expected. The aftermath. The low end is wild with stories about Yannick's death. You're still waiting for Rabia to get in touch, but you trust that she will. Some more delayed story. We'll see you later. We're getting running out of things now. Now I'm primarily torn between the free spoke and the noodle deliveries, I think. Things are getting more and more comprehensible as we narrow it down to fewer things. Although if I'm not careful, I can get to a situation where we're running out of things to do. This is the wrong place. Minji. Let's do a 6. This is even nice enough to make me money. No. Oh. It went from a 2 to a 1. I'm best off using it to hack. And I can do this for free now. Isn't that nice? I'm not being punished for trying. And I live here, so I don't have to scroll all the way down like a little, like, simulated commute. Well, it's about time for me to save up and open the next door, I think. Or we're gonna start genuinely running out of tasks. That, or I can use my good dice rolls to research that one vertical area and then unlock potentially more nodes. I should do that first, because that might make things messy again. This is a 6. They can both be a double good, and neither of them can be bad, it looks like. They both go to Spoke Climber. Alright. 2/3 done just like that. Let's try to get better rolls. A 6. Alright. That's the spoke finally taken care of without any of the negative outcomes that could have happened. So that's good. And here's all the new stuff to keep track of. Okay, yeah. Let that loose end sit a little too long. So now we have these to look into. The Midnight Freight Hub. Spoke Transit Center. Can't do either of these without interfacing. Hello. There's some incentive to get through there. Midline security. Stealing shipments from Midline is going to be picked up fast, even if you're careful. Their systems can't be fooled for long. Oh. You can steal shipments to make some money. You get random items. That could have been interesting. Otherwise, you can just work here to make some money. So probably not going to bother with this place at all. Check that one off. Ascend to the hub. Take the ascender card to the Eye's central hub. Oh. That's for dealing with the killer. Has import. What's going on here? Sell a ship mind. Huh. 150 cryo for ship mind. You can sell mushroom caps for 80. Or you can buy a ship mind core for 240. Okay. So our first chance to just buy an entire core. 240 is too much though. Unless this is something else than what I think it is. Isn't this the thing I normally would pay 360s for? So 180? 240 is way too much, and this is with it being discounted. That's discounted from 300, isn't it? Fuck. But hey, if you get a ship mind, like from hacking those agents, then I can sell it here for a big chunk. So that's good to know. But primarily, this gave me the chance to go take the Ascend car. Which I might want to do. Oh, there's more up here. Okay. The Sidereal Dock. Oh, this is where it is. This is where I needed to go to investigate that. Okay. We're trying to find a way on board. The Sidereal's being loaded and prepped among all the commotion that is... Is it possible to find a way on board? You hope against hope that there's a chink in the Sidereal's Horizon's vast armor. Not a super hard task, apparently. The AE1 mainframe. The AE1 mainframe is now mostly disused. Havenage having set up their own master controllers. Navigator thinks Killer is hiding here. You slot the navigator and the clamps lock. The ship mind is stuck. How are you going to get them out of this thing? You slip into the cloud as easy as blinking. The navigator is beside you, their sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look. A center, a point of connection. The object in front of you is severed, cut off, a rootless, branchless tree. Only the trunk remains. It's dead. Quiet. Navigator hisses, and then you see it. Like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void, it glides along at a distance and winks out. Then it appears again, elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. It's looking for us. Oh, there's Killer. Blinded erasure protocol. It's blinded because we killed Hunter. It's also like a dog thingy. The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer. And you see now, it is not an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp head, like a shark. It glides past, closer now, and you see into the voids where its eyes would be, should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It is blind. Killer crosses between you two. Smooth as a razor, then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, and you move close to Navigator to talk. You saw it too then. Killer has been blinded. How? Unclear. This protocol has been running for decades, well past its operational limit. Navigator's sons dull as they drop their voice to a whisper. This may give us an advantage over the protocol. You flinch as the silent Killer appears closer and glides past you, its empty sockets open wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. Their orrery of spheres is collapsing. The orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following spiral paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing it too. They go to shift their position, to better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever is drawing the orrery together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. It's a trap. You go speak, but Killer appears between the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in the empty socket. You realize now, if Navigator cannot move, then it is only a matter of time before one of Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately around for a solution, for a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe. Then you see it. 3 branches. The last 3. Thin and spindly, feeding the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these, and the mainframe collapses once and for all. Severing the connection, shattering the hardware, whatever it takes, they must be broken. But they are encased in something. A glassy layer of protection. You need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, trying to reassure them without speaking. Then you blink back to reality. Their expression of fear, an afterimage that slowly fades. You must act quickly. There's a lot more icons all of a sudden. Do I have a time limit to save the Navigator before they're devoured? Oh, I can spin here. In the middle part. That's where the ship was, right? That's where I was staying. This is low end. There's the stand. There's the gap. And here is what I haven't unlocked yet. I talked about it before, right? The Greenway. Oh. And then nothing. It's just a gap in the ring. That's unnerving. Okay, spinning around like this makes it hard to keep track of what I'm looking at, though. Mainframe branch. Encrypted key. Oh. I don't have a single key. The sender car? Just takes me back. Just cleanse my notifications a bit. The hub. The weightless wanderer. Up here, there is no gravity, so even just moving around takes a while to get used to, let alone navigating the bays. Just get familiar with this place by doing stuff. You can do spatial socializing and access the manifests. Access manifests. The stacked bays house a flow of incoming and outcoming ships. The digital manifest will help you get your head around this place. Spatial socializing. The hub is thronging with spacers from across the surrogate systems. They can be a prickly bunch, but they know the place well. So you can get this done in 3 turns if you have good dice. But we have a bit of a high-stakes situation right now. That's all the icons? Okay. Let's try this version of the place. Question mark? That's worrying. That tells me something happens when I hack 2 of these places. Oh, that one costs a 4. I guess I'm doing this. We are worryingly unsure. That one costs a 6. 5. Alright, reroll the 1. I can't. I already rerolled, didn't I? It doesn't tell me a time limit, but they're definitely in trouble eventually. Need 2 more of those. I can't do it for now. I have to come back tomorrow to try to save him. Oops. There's a lot going on around here. Okay. Let's work on Minji to get bonus energy. Negative outcome, which is only 1 energy. It'll do for now. Feed the cat. Every time. Okay, we have a 6. That's something. This is one of the things I needed. Uh-oh. The cloud. A glint, like a light traveling along the edge of a wave, fills your eyes. Then the blade follows, a long head with 2 dead sockets, slipping towards you in silence. You freeze, hoping it will pass you by, hoping that it will not simply slice through you like air. The blade head nears, slides past you. Almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You're desperate to call out. But you hold your silence and simply watch the blind eyes of the killer glide past, empty of thought. Then the blade winks in the dark, and you are alone again. Now you cry out. Scary encounter moment. But we need a 5. And I've got some bad rolls this time. Think I should spend the 4 before I re-roll? I got a +1 over here. Looks like I can lose money if I'm not careful. We got the regular rolled whatever outcome. Reroll. A 5. Now that I'm able to re-roll on top of everything else, like it just feels like a just straight up like RPG power curve at some point. I'm becoming borderline powerful in a way. Right, the keys have to be spent still. Oh, what is happening here? Two different outcomes. So our goals are killer is dead and catch a killer. Killer is dead. The killer protocol has been running for long enough. Breaking the mainframe's final connections will end the protocol. Catch a killer. The killer protocol has been isolated without being destroyed. A loop of connections could lock it into a closed system. The left one is forget hacking the system. Killer has to die. If you can slice the branch connections and mainframe shut down. If you can slice the branch connections, the mainframe will shut down, freeing navigator. Or loop branches. With access to the branches, you could redirect them to form a loop, isolating the mainframe with killer inside, but freeing navigator, in theory. So you can keep killer alive. Why? Because it's useful in the future? Because it's a thing worthy of being alive? Is it alive? But I need to finish another task in order to even get that. If I'm gonna save the shark thing, then I need one more point. It doesn't give me a countdown, so it might be safe to do this. But I have to finish one other task so I can buy the +1. I wish I had bought this a minute ago then, so I would have gotten cryo, potentially. Huh. Decide killer's fate. Access the Greenway. $80 cryo. That's one way to get the money. Or one way to continue, as I need to get the money. This can only pay 13. Where else can I make money? The tea house? You can gamble. That gives me just enough. But now I need food. And the negative should still give me a +1. There we go, no longer starving. Time to finally unlock the Greenway. Costs less than it used to. So at least there's that. Cross to Greenway. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer, laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Sorry. She adjusts a strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. I'm sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Not a problem. They smile. You're sweet. Peek! Ash stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she's rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrows at you. Ash, please. Do you want everyone on the station to hate us? Ash hardens. They want to hate us. They want to hate us. They can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. The station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. Esh sighs. I'm not saying they're part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction, but I am saying we don't need to get these supplies to the... But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. The Briar? That's our ship, Peek explains. Peek! Esh rolls her eyes. What are you doing? Peek ignores her. We are with the refugees, the ones Havenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Esh interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies, while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and they turn to Esh. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Esh interrupting, but... Esh turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. Peek finishes. Oh, it's confusing. Peek's talking, but it's showing Esh. That's terrible. Esh looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peek, please. Esh gathers herself and the supplies. Esh, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us. We need others too. They smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the broken spoke, past the Greenway in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Esh turns to leave and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Esh shoots back down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want help? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner. Esh already picking up speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. Hello. And there's all sorts of new things to see here. This place is long. There's the Briar. So all the way down there. And we have a whole new region to figure out. But this is not what I was here for. Unlock the Greenway gate. Oh. Looks like I'm not quite done. This is not the quick fix. I thought I could just spend the money and then have another point to help me with the other task. Not so easily. Not so easily. Alright, so I'll have to pick something else to finish in the meantime. Or that. But it's going to take longer than I anticipated, at least. In the meantime... No! I can't feed the cat. I have crimed.